What is up, RotoGrinders? Welcome to MLB Crunch Time for the early slates this morning. I'm your host, TJ Zwarich, joined by two of the sharpest minds in the biz, helping break down today's little baby 3-game slate on FanDuel and a 6-game slate on DraftKings. We got my guy, Stevie TPFL. Stevie, feels like I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been around, just chilling. Love some day baseball, so excited for day baseball. I don't know if I'm necessarily excited for this slate. It's kind of a interesting slate, but excited for some day baseball.
We got our first Coors Field game of the season, and it is horrifically bad weather. As cold as it is here in Saskatchewan, it's snowing. Might as well be playing the game here in the middle of nowhere, Canada, but helping us adjust to how to handle Coors Field today, and if it still is going to be the best spot on the slate, even with such terrible weather. We got the creator of the bat, Derek Carty. How you doing, Derek?
I'm doing pretty well. Very excited about some day baseball also. Yeah, we got a, it's not just like we have a game or two. Like we have a good amount of afternoon baseball today, so I'm excited.
I got some Spidey bombs ready for the people. We will drop those every 50 likes. So make sure you are smashing the like button. If you're watching us on YouTube, get your questions into the YouTube chat. Get them in the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. We'll be answering all of those. And no Film Friday or anything like that. I'll be back for Grinders Live later today. We'll be doing that with Dean. But for now, just your regular old baseball slate breakdown. We'll start with the very early 3-gamer on FanDuel. Since we are starting crunch time a little bit early today, we will go up to near the FanDuel lock. We won't be going all the way up to the DraftKings lock. That's not till 2:10 Eastern time, but we do already have almost all of the lineups. We'll be able to break that one right down. Give people a little bit of extra time to watch their crunch time this morning, just in case they didn't get their lineups in quite as early for the FanDuel slate. No, we're not doing tiers. That'll just be a draft. That's just the Grinders Live thing, not a crunch time thing. So we'll be diving right into the FanDuel breakdown because they do have a game starting right at 12:10. And then we will go to the full DraftKings breakdown. Before we do that, though, we got some March Madness coming back up this weekend. We're coming to a close with the Final Four. And so it's the perfect time if you're playing multiple DFS sports to check out this sweet deal. For a limited time, get your first month of Combo Pro for $79.99, just $15 more than PGA Premium and $5 more than NBA Premium. This also includes content for March Madness, so be sure to tap in. Also, make sure you check out our Props and Pick'em package for a discount. The Props and Pick'em package features daily prop picks and fantasy pick'em selections from many of your favorite RotoGrinders experts. We're knocking 50% off the price of your first month when you sign up at the link below. Cardi, I'll throw it to you first because I think Stevie may have just froze on us here.
Give us
a little breakdown of the slate that we got.
So I mean, if we're going to talk about this little FanDuel slate first, the difference is the Detroit White Sox game, and that does make pretty considerable difference because we have Jack Flaherty on the slate then, and he projects as the best pitcher. I think he's close with Imanaga. I don't think you have to play Flaherty over him, but it does give you one more high-end option here to consider. Hitters-wise, I'm not in love with anything here. Riley Green, I think, is probably the bat I have the most interest in from this game, but it's really more about Flaherty than anything else for me.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Even just like your overview on the slate as a whole, how do you plan on on the DraftKings side of thing? What do you plan on doing with Coors Field? How are you projecting that in comparison to a normal Coors Field game?
So I mean, the way the bat projects Coors Field is it has the factor for the park, and then it has factors for the weather. And yeah, it's pretty extreme weather there today. I was actually looking this morning. The hottest game of the day today is in Atlanta, and it's like almost 85 degrees. And Coors Field is sub 40 with it's crazy. So because the temperature is that low, that is low temperatures tend to favor pitchers. But Coors Field is so extreme that it's still going to play hitter friendly. But it's not your typical Coors Field where you're like, okay, everyone from this game is just like obviously the best play. That's not the case today. Colorado projects well, Oakland projects well, but they're still kind of like just in the mix for the top teams. There's probably 5 or 6 other teams that are comparable to them today. So, and it doesn't look like they're going to be overly owned, but it kind of looks like a day with kind of flat ownership, which, doesn't give us a lot to differentiate these, top 5 or 6 teams.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at it as well. And I guess their totals tell the same story, right? They're still the highest totals on the slate, but barely, like just by a couple fractions of an implied run. And so not as exciting as they usually are. We got Stevie popping right back in here. Stevie, how you doing? Welcome back. What are your thoughts on today's slate as a whole? How are you going to be handling Coors Field when it's cold as shit?
Yeah, I mean, it is cold, but it's probably 2 of the worst pitchers that we have. So, yeah, right now, I'm going to play some bats in that game. I don't know how much I'm really going to stack. I'm only playing like single entry, higher dollar stuff, and I don't know how much I'm going to actually like stack. I might run like a 3-3-2 type of stack more than anything else. So, yeah, Coors, like, if it wasn't Ryan Feltner pitching against Bido, like, maybe I would be more excited to fade it. But, yeah, I mean, it's 2 of the worst pitchers that we have on the slate. And we have some really decent pitchers on this slate. And the bats on the slate are kind of Like, I really wish that Chicago-Detroit game was on the DK slate. I think it'd make it a little bit more interesting, but it's not. So, yeah, I mean, slate as a whole, play a little bit and get excited for the night slate. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at.
We have already reached enough likes for Spidey Bomb number 1. Great job, everybody. Keep smashing the like button. We got the next one coming at 100 likes. Spidey Bomb number 1 is from this first game of the slate. That's only on the FanDuel slate. Cardi, you brought up liking Riley Green. I like Riley Green today too. Plus 775 to hit a home run. Spidey Bomb number 1, Riley Green. Let's start talking pitchers on this FanDuel slate. Fetty, Vasquez, Buehler, and Imanaga, they're on the main DraftKings slate as well. The only addition is this Detroit and Chicago game. And we got Jonathan Cannon, who actually, according to SimLabs, is projecting pretty decent for the FanDuel slate. And then Jack Flaherty, who, Cardi, like you mentioned, becomes one of the top pitchers on the overall slate if this game is included. So how are you handling pitching on the FanDuel main slate?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Flaherty and Imanaga are kind of in a tier to themselves. They will be popular. People will know that. So I can certainly see reasons to take shots on other guys in GPPs. Like neither of these guys is like a true ace. So I do think Cannon kind of interesting, I guess, if you want to take some shots. He'd be the one I have the most interest in, I think, after the 2 main guys, because the rest of them just all project really similarly. And I think he's the best kind of bang for your buck guy, and the ownership looks low. And so, yeah, he'd be the one I have the most interest in.
Stevie, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, if Flaherty was on the main slate on DraftKings, he'd be one of the highest owned pitchers. He's not. That could potentially get his ownership down a little bit on FanDuel, but it's a 3-game slate. I think Flaherty would be my number 1. I like the Cannon call from Cardi because, I mean, Detroit, they have a couple really good bats, and then the rest of the lineup is awful. So, I mean, Cannon could give up a home run or 2 to Carpenter and Green and still strike out like 7. So I think Cannon's interesting from a tournament perspective. Walker Buehler is interesting from a tournament perspective. He didn't look awesome in his first start, but 1-game sample sizes is not something that we love. We know that Walker Buehler has some talent. St. Louis is a team that is very hit or miss. And I think the Cardinals on the FanDuel 3-game slate are going to be a team that a lot of people look to for bats. So I could see maybe using some Bueller in tournaments over there. But Flaherty would be my number one guy on that 3-game FanDuel slate.
Lead us into those bats right now. We have the highest optimal rate on the 3-game slate is the Cardinals, and they're picking up a lot of ownership, but actually, according to SimLabs, still less than their stack rate. Cardi, where does that are the Cardinals' top stack according to the bats as well for the small slate?
It is, yeah. The bat likes the Cardinals the most, but it's not. It's close between them and the Red Sox, let's say. I think both of those teams look really good today. They will be the 2 highest owned. As weird as it is to say, I think the Tigers might be my next favorite for tournaments, even though I like Cannon on the other side of it as well. Like, I just think for their prices and ownership and everything else, they are interesting. I mean, we're dealing with a small slate here, so options are limited, but yeah, it's Cardinals and Red Sox, and then it's kind of everybody else. I don't even mind White Sox stacks against Flaherty.
I'm with you with like Cannon and the Detroit side of things. I think Cannon is one of my favorite pitchers, but at the same time, Carpenter and Green are 2 of my favorite hitters on the slate. Stevie, what are you thinking of doing with? We got the Cardinals and Red Sox way above everybody else. The Cubs would probably be with them if it wasn't for the weather.
Yeah, Eric Fetty, man, he's pitching baseballs today. So, the experiment of all the weird stuff that he was doing with like breaking balls and everything like that, it really started to show towards the end of last year that he can still get hit very hard. The Red Sox lineup, I think, is the best lineup to target for overall ceiling. Even my boy Rafi is starting to hit the baseball. So it was just a matter of time. I think this is the team that you look for on this 3-game slate. They're probably your top stack. And yeah, I mean, the Cardinals against Bueller. Bueller's not a heavy strikeout guy, and he gets hit really hard by right-handed power bats, and he can get hit hard by lefties. So Contreras, Arenado, Donovan, Nootbaar, like that top half is good. You guys mentioned the Detroit bats that I like. I mean, the Cubs are hitting everything right now. So if you want to take some shots on the Cubs, Kyle Tucker getting out of that lineup is such a huge upgrade to the overall lineup. He's such a good hitter. So the Cubs are up there for me as well. But the Red Sox, we're going to talk about them on the DK slate too. They're one of my top stacks today.
Let's transition over to that DK slate. I'll keep it with you, Stevie. What are you planning on doing on the pitching side of things where there's no Jack Flaherty? We got Max Fried up top projecting as the highest optimal rate guy. Imanaga a little bit down the list, but I actually think he's my favorite.
Yeah, I wouldn't overthink pitching on this 2-game slate. I would just play Shada and Fried on DraftKings. Just play the 2 best pitchers. Pitch count wise, we're getting into like second starts now. We should start seeing closer to like 90 to 95 pitches for most pitchers. We're still not mid-season. We're not going to get 105 pitches from a lot of these guys. And I know Cardi will talk about that a little bit as well. But I mean, just play Fried and play Shada. Outside of that, I mean, you could look at Gausman, but the Mets are so good that I don't like Gausman for a smaller slate like this. I would probably go to like Verlander if I was going to go down and just say I'll play the talent against the Seattle team that strikes out a ton. Like Verlander, probably closer to like 20% strikeout rate at the end of the season compared to like Verlander being 27, 28 in his prime. But it's still Seattle. I mean, they strike out a ton. So those are the 3 guys that I really like. I'm looking at the optimal thing here on SimLabs, and Gausman is one that I'm perfectly good with like fading in a single entry, 3-entry max build.
I'm going to be spreading out my pitcher a fair amount. I'm running 150 lineups tonight. I am going to get to some guys that make me very uncomfortable, like Ryan Feltner, Osvaldo Bido, Vasquez, Miguel, just because they are so cheap. I'm playing Verlander too. And I just don't feel super great about any of the chalk pitching tonight. Like I could absolutely see this being a scenario where, Imanaga and Fried only score 18 points apiece, and any of these pitchers could end up being optimal today. Cardi, what are you planning on doing for cash and for tournaments?
Yeah, I agree. In cash Fried and Imanaga just makes the most sense to pair because the rest of the options are not great. But it's not like either of these guys are so phenomenal either. So I like Stevie's call on Verlander. I think he'd be one of my favorites aside from the obvious two. I also like Tyler McGill and even a little bit of Ryan Feltner for his price today with the weather and Coors against the A's. The projection for him really isn't that much different than the rest of these guys, than Mitch Keller or Eric Fetty or Osvaldo Bido or Walker Buehler. He actually projects better than Walker Buehler. So yeah, I don't mind him at all.
Let's talk some stacks for this slate. It's a weird one where we talked about it earlier, where we have Coors Field, and while they still Coors ranks as among the best stack, not necessarily the top stack on the slate because of the really, really cold weather. So, Stevie, I'll throw it to you first. What do you plan on? How many lineups you playing today, and how do you plan on stacking?
Yeah, on this early slate, I probably just play like a single entry. I don't feel like I have to play a lot on this slate. I like the night slate a lot more. I'm going to focus a lot more energy and effort on that slate. So probably just play single entry. I mean, I'm going to play some Coors bats. I think that these bats are fine, but I think the Red Sox are my top stack for this early slate. I like them a lot against Eric Fetty. And I mean, again, like the power throughout this entire lineup, like, you know, Campbell is a great addition. He's a young power bat that adds to the bottom half of this lineup. So the top half of this lineup just so good against right-handed pitching that I think the Red Sox are the team to target here at home against the Cardinals.
16 likes away from Spidey Bomb number 2. Keep smashing that like button. OS is asking if we're going to have a main slate talk early on, as in like the evening slate. Yes, there will be. Like, this is the main slate for the early one on DraftKings, the 6-gamer that we're talking right now, but we will be talking the evening main slate later on in the day. It'll be myself and Dean for Grinders Live. You're welcome, J3. I subbed in today just for you, my friend. So you got myself and Dean on Grinders Live today, and then the Crunch Time crew leading you right up to lock will be Roth, Notorious, and Cheese. So great Crunch Time crew today. Cardi, what are you doing for stacks? I'm hoping by the time you're done talking stacks, we'll be at 100 likes so I can give out Spidey Bum number 2.
Nice. Yeah, hit that like button. We have the Coors game, but like I said, I don't think they're all that much different than some of these other teams. I like the Red Sox Cardinals stuff. I think I like Cardinals a little bit more than the Red Sox, kind of opposite Stevie. The Yankees look really good. But they all project for like the same ownership. So it's like, just take your pick. I think also the Giants and the Mariners, both sides of that game would be kind of in that mix for me, as like all of these are kind of good and the same today. I know that's not super helpful.
I feel like I'm going to be, weirdly enough, differentiating my pitching pool more than my stacks today. Like, I feel like I'm going to try and really just target Cardinals, Yankees, Athletics, Red Sox is my top tier. Mix in a little bit of Blue Jays, Giants, Rockies, maybe Pirates, but I'm going to fully fade the Chicago and San Diego game from a bat standpoint today. I'm going to probably be underweight on the Coors side of things. Don't really think I'm going to be getting to much Seattle. So I'm going to be, I think, having a pretty tight range of stacks. And then in my 150 max lineups set today, and then just really differentiate at pitchers, maybe get a little underweight on the Imanaga and Frieds of the world so I can get overweight on everybody else. How many likes are we at? We are at 96. Not yet. So close. Give me 5 more likes and technically 4 more likes. And we got Spidey Bomb number 2. They are hot lately. Cedric Mullins hit for us yesterday. Let's keep it going. Stevie, give me some catcher talk. Who do you like at the catcher position?
You know how much I love catchers. Almost as much as Cardi likes BVP. So,
oh my God, Stevie, we're not even a week into the year. Come on.
Hey, listen, I didn't bring up the torpedo bats. I went straight for the BVP. But It wasn't even like BVP talk. I was just saying how much I love catchers,
You
Cardi.
just
So
wanted to take a dig. That's all it was. You
you know,
just saw your shot and you took it.
me and you can enjoy a scotch. You'll be all right. I think catcher is atrociously bad, like it is every single slate. So I mean, catchers outside of your stacks, I'd probably go to Goodman. He's under 4K. He's hitting fourth in cores, so I don't necessarily hate that. Herrera against Bueller. He's a catcher with some pop. So like if you're gonna pay up for a catcher, he has pop. Maybe Austin Wells for the Yankees. I'm kind of off my boy Bangaliers today. He's really expensive at a catcher's position where I don't know if he necessarily has that ceiling on this slate, but I mean it is Feltner. So Goodman probably my favorite. And I mean, again, I'm not saying much. Herrera, I like him in the Cardinals stacks because I know I didn't say a lot about the Cardinals stack when we were talking about stacks. I'm with Cardi. I do like the Cardinals stack. When Bueller is off, he's very hittable.
Speaking of the Cardinals, it's time for Spidey Bomb number 2. We're going to the leadoff hitter, the guy who came through for us with a Spidey Bomb on opening day, and he's going to do it again tonight. It is Lars Nootbaar. You can find him for plus 680 on FanDuel. So Lars Nootbaar, Spidey Bomb number 2. We'll get number 3 at 150 likes, which may seem ambitious. I'm going to show you how to hit the like button so it's not too hard. If you're on your computer, it's easy. You take your mouse, you slide it over, you give it a little click. If you're on your phone, it's tougher. You pull up YouTube. Here we are, right? We're going to be right at the top. It's nice and easy. You give us a little click. But when you click us, there's no like button. You see? The chat's there. There's all you wonderful people in chat. So what you got to do is you got to hit the little X. And once you hit the little X, the like button comes up. You can give it a click. So smash that like button, whether you're on your phone or your computer. We got the third Spidey Bomb at 150 likes. Number 1 is Riley Green, plus 775. Number 2 is Lars Nootbaar, plus 680. Cardi, who are we playing in cash at center? And center at catcher.
You mean? This
Too much
isn't
NBA.
basketball, TJ. Get your head in the game. All right. I like the Coors guys. I think for cash, you're playing one of them. I'm fine spending up. But if you want to go down to Goodman, that's fine too. I like Austin Wells quite a bit today. And if you need to save money, I think Carlos Narvaez is probably the guy you do it with.
All right, take me to first base.
The value guy here, I guess there's kind of 2 big ones, is Alec Burleson hitting 5th for St. Louis in Fenway. He's 3K. Like, he's the guy that I think makes the most sense. Tristan Casas for 500 more on the other side of that game, I think looks good. I prefer Burleson. Looks like he might even be a little bit lower owned. The higher dollar guys, I think because we have value options like that on the slate, we have Ben Rice potentially for the Yankees as another value option that people will go towards. I don't think we're going to see like a ton of ownership on guys like Vladimir Guerrero or Alonso or Goldschmidt or Wilson Contreras is in that tier with them today. So if I'm looking to be different, I think it's with one of those guys.
Stevie, how about you? Who you liking at the first base position?
Yeah, a lot of value for first base for guys that, still have a lot of upside. I like the Burleson call. Cassis is a guy that I really like. We talked about the Red Sox. You're never going wrong with a guy like Vlad or Alonso if you have the money spending up for those guys. Like, no one is ever going to come on a show and say, hey, Vlad and Pete Alonso are bad plays. It just makes more sense because first base has a lot of upside towards the bottom. I don't mind Michael Busch against Vasquez. I think he's another guy. And then Contreras, staying with that theme of like the Cardinals, a lot of people could potentially play Burleson over Contreras at first base. So I like the idea of being different with my Cardinals stack and paying the extra money for Contreras. But I do like Burleson more. I just think making some sense here. And then Soderstrom against Feltner. Feltner's not good. Soderstrom has some upside.
Really like the Tristan Casas call today. I think I'm going to keep playing him until they raise his price a little bit. Stevie, take us over to second base.
Yeah, again, the Yankees, good spot. Jazz, always someone that you could play. That Yankees lineup, just so good. and they got the Torpedoes, which, they're going to barrel more bats. They're good hitters already. Like, bat aside, they're just good hitters. So I don't know if Volpe's a good hitter or not, but he's hitting good so far. But Aaron Judge having 5 home runs doesn't shock anybody. But anyway, Bregman, if you're spending up, I think Bregman's definitely in play. I like that DraftKings kind of made him a second base, third base, so we can play him and Rafi. Donovan at 3.9K looks really good against Bueller. Like that spot. Campbell, second base or outfield. If you're using Bregman at third base and not playing Rafi, I could see taking some shots on Campbell. He's still kind of cheap. He has some upside. And then going all the way down to I guess Farmer would be the cheap, but I'd prefer just spending the money on Campbell or Donovan if you're just going to save some money at second base.
Cardi, how about you? Who are you playing at second?
I like the Donovan call I mentioned. I like St. Louis stuff a lot. If you can get up to Jazz, great though. Like he's clearly the cream of the crop today. And even though he's expensive, he still projects really well. I think the torpedo bat stuff is maybe a little overrated, I guess we'll say. But
what's funny is it's been around. It's not new.
It's not that new, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like Jazz. I like Brendan Donovan a lot. If I'm going cheaper, Stevie mentioned Farmer. I think Max Muncy on the other side of the game for 100 more is right there too. Otherwise, that's it for second. It's kind of not great.
All right, take us to third.
Theoretically, Rafael Devers is the best on this slate. I still don't think I'm playing him. I don't think he's right. I would rather save a little bit of money and play Matt Chapman for 4.5K. The bat always loves Chapman. He's great. He's an underrated player. The price is reasonable. He's got a good matchup today. It's possible that people think he's facing the other Luis Castillo, which could help with ownership. He's my favorite. I do think also, though, you have plenty of fine options here. Like McMahon and Coors is fine. Arenado for the Cardinals is fine. Cabrian Hayes is the cheap guy I like the most. Even though he's against Fried, he's still leading off. He's still 3.3K, still has a platoon advantage. So I don't mind Hayes, especially since despite the value with the price tag, it doesn't look like anyone's really going to have him.
Stevie, how about you? You like the Red Sox tonight. Are you going to play your guy Rafi?
No, I like Rafi. I think that he's in a great spot. I absolutely love the Chapman call. Castillo that we're getting today, this Luis Castillo, is a very low strikeout guy. He had one start in AAA. I mean, this guy started pitching in the minors in 2013, and only he's pitched, I think, 3 or 4 innings in the bigs in 2022 with the Tigers. He's not a very good pitcher. He's very hittable. So I love the Chapman call. I think the Giants are that sneaky stack to look at just in general today. So I like that, but I love the Chapman call. But yeah, Rafi, he looks a little better at the plate. I don't know. Looks like he cares a little bit more. I think that had a lot to do with it. But yeah, I mean, those are the two guys I'm going to play a bunch of. You could always talk about Ryan McMahon. You could talk about him, but I think I would prefer in a single entry type build, either Devers or Chapman today.
All right, take me over to you, shortstop.
Yeah, for all the slates that we get excellent shortstop options, this one is missing a lot of those big names because they're on the night slate. But Lindor is still the guy. If you could pay up for Lindor, I know it's Gaussman. It's still, he has so much lineup protection. He has so many good bats behind him. He's going to continue to get pitched to with good pitches because you don't want to put him on in front of those guys that's hitting behind him. So I think Lindor, if you want to pay up for him. Outside of that, I think if you're not spending up, you could kind of go down to maybe Adames. He's good righty-righty. He's not one of those guys that this is a huge platoon. So going back to that Giants conversation against Castillo, he's probably my second favorite. And if I'm not paying it for Lindor, he's probably my first favorite. I think Adames is underpriced on DraftKings at 4,300 today.
Cardi, how about you? Shortstop.
Yeah, I agree. The BetX has Adames projected as the top shortstop overall today, even over Lindor. So I'm definitely about that call. Lindor's fine, but I do think he's very similar to the guys that are all like 1,000 less. Adames, Tovar, Volpe, Story. Those are the guys that I like the most today. Once you go cheaper than that, I really don't like the cheap options here at shortstop. Even though we don't have those like really elite high end shortstops, I still feel like this is a slate where you find a way to spend up at shortstop.
All right, take us to the outfield.
So, Aaron Judge, you may have heard, is good at baseball. He hits home runs. The Yankees are awesome today. I like Judge a lot. He's super expensive, but I do think that will keep his ownership at a reasonable level. In terms of like value guys, your Spidey Bomb number 2, Lars Nootbaar, I like a lot today. I think he's probably the best outfield value on DK. Victor Scott and Brendan Donovan, if you're not playing him at second, and Jordan Walker, all in that lineup, all look really good today. I like Jarren Duran on the other side of that game for Boston. I think Abreu in that same lineup looks pretty good. And I'm definitely on the San Francisco guys. I don't think we have a lineup there yet, but assuming we get Yaz, Young-Hoo Lee, I'm definitely on them.
Stevie, how about you? Who do you like in the outfield? And are you going to pay up for Judge in your one lineup?
Probably not going to pay up for Judge today, but it's never a bad idea to pay up for the best home run hitter in baseball. I'll argue that with anybody. So, I think Aaron Judge, even as a Red Sox fan, it pains me to say, Judge is incredible. Juan Soto is another like pay up option you could pay up for. We talked about the Red Sox, but yeah, I mean, the cheap bats, don't sleep on Ramos. Don't sleep on those San Francisco bats today. Again, like they hit righty. So overall, there's no real cheap bet that I love. I wish Mickey Moniak was hitting in a better spot because I'm just a Mickey Moniak truther. I think that he has some potential in that Rockies uniform. They just need to just go for it and let him hit leadoff and just see what happens because Blackman's gone. But overall, Nootbaar, Blade, I think are great plays. Duran, Abreu for the Red Sox. But if you want to spend up, I think I prefer Soto over Judge today.
17 likes away from Spidey Bomb number 3. Keep smashing that like button. We just hit yesterday with Cedric Mullins. We have hit one every single day so far this season. So keep smashing that like button, and we'll get some more. In the meantime, Stevie, who are your Don calls today? Who do you got hitting a home run?
Oh, yeah. I mean, usually I write these down. I did not do that today. I'm being cheesed today, right? Like I'm just the home run calls, but
that means they're gonna hit though.
Oh gosh. Well, thanks for the pressure. No, I'm just kidding. Give me Devers to hit a home run, Chapman to hit a home run, the same position. I know. I don't care. We're calling home runs. And the cheap one, give me Ramos to hit a home run from the Giants.
I like it, Cardi. How about you? Who are some of your favorites to hit a home run? Who's the best bet in the bat?
Yeah, Judge is the best, highest chance overall, but Chapman I love. Like Chapman has one of the highest chances of the day. A little cheaper, more off the radar guy. I think Wilyer Abreu looks pretty good. And then in terms of betting odds, we have some of these San Francisco guys showing decent value. Wilmer Flores plus 1,000, Lamont Wade plus 900, Yaz plus 750, and O'Neal Cruz plus 1,000 looks kind of good today too.
All right, I got my final Spidey Bomb typed in, ready to start scrolling right now. Let's see if we got up to 150 likes. Well, no, we didn't do it. We're still 12 away, so it doesn't look like Spidey Bomb number 3 is coming before the end of the show. We are going to get out of here just right away after we take some QQs. I will, of course, be going to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat, first for questions. Then I will be going to the YouTube chat. So make sure you get your questions in. And I'm gonna say I don't know if I have the confidence that we'll get there. Oh, we're 5 away now. Looks like we're gonna get there. It sometimes just takes a little bit of a challenge, and people start doing it. QQ DK GPP thoughts on a low-owned Met stack. Not terrible weather, and Gaussman getting hit hard. What do you think, Stevie?
Like, I get it. If this game wasn't in Citi Field and it was in Toronto, I think I'd have a lot more interest in the Mets today. I mean, Citi Field's just not a great hitting ballpark, not a great hitting environment in general. So I get it. I'm not a huge Gaussman fan. He didn't have a great spring. He doesn't look like, 5 years ago Gaussman. So I understand it. I think personally, I would use them more as a secondary stack.
All right, Cardi, there's been lots of questions in chat about Alec Burleson and a potential pinch hit risk. If they bring in a lefty, is he going to be out of there?
I'm taking a closer look right now, but the bat has his pinch hit risk is very low. I do want to double check, but as of right now, no, I'm not concerned about that at all. We
got enough likes for Spidey Bum number 3. Great job, everybody. And we are going to the New York Yankees. Another guy who's already hit a Spidey Bomb for us this year, Jazz Chisholm at plus 650. Spidey Bomb number 3. There is another one on the Yankees that I like, and I really, really like as well, but it's going to depend on where he ends up coming in on his lineup spot, because we don't have that Yankees lineup yet. So I'll give that one away if we get to 175 likes, 25 more. Smash the like button. We got a Giants lineup. Wade leading off, Adames, Lee, Chapman, Ramos, Yastrzemski, Flores, Bailey, Fitzgerald. So pretty much, I think exactly what we were expecting on that front. All right. Anthony asking who's Spidey Bum number 1. They're scrolling at the bottom of the chat. So Riley Green, Lars Nootbaar, Jazz Chisholm, 775, 680, and plus 650. All right. Let's see. Cardi, who is the BVP play of the day?
Your mom.
Great call. A lot of predictions in the YouTube chat, but not a whole lot of questions. So get your questions in. Is there 2 Luis Castillos on Seattle? Yes, there is. Do not play this one. This is a 30-year-old making his first start in the MLB and doesn't come with a lot of pedigree. So definitely don't get yourself to this Luis Castillo today. If you're only playing one, Stevie, would you play Herrera or Contreras? I'm wondering if they might be both listed as, or I guess on FanDuel, catcher and first baser together. So who do you like better, Herrera or Contreras for St. Louis?
I think it's kind of crazy that I'm going to say this, but I think I like Herrera better.
Comes with a little bit of a salary discount. Cardi, how do you feel about a Colorado Rockies stack tonight?
Yeah, they're good. I said earlier, Coors isn't projecting as high above everyone else as it often will due to weather, and due to the quality of the teams. But yeah, they're good. They're right in the mix there with the top teams today.
Cardi, Captain America Bleeds would like you to know that his mom says hi.
So, tell her I say hi too.
Captain America Bleeds. Cardi says hi back.
Did you ask her? I think I might have left my wallet on the end table last night.
All right, we'll get you Cardi's number and we'll see if we can Captain America Bleeds. We'll see if we can get that worked out. Ben writes for Alec Burleson, Stevie.
Burleson.
Is a Bido and Feltner combo viable with some big bats, Cardi?
I think that's a little too much for me. One of them, okay. I don't think you're pairing both.
Stevie, you playing any Mitch Keller for his birthday narrative today?
No, I like Cardi's comment in the chat. What does that mean? He's going to hit home run today? Like, if Mitch Keller goes out and dominates the Yankees, so be it, and I move on to the night slate because, yeah, I mean, maybe, Cardi, maybe you're onto something. Maybe he's in the back and BP hitting off the simulator and trying to hit a home run before the game and getting pumped up or after his start. But, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm not. No, I'm just long story short. No, not playing Mitch Keller on his birthday. Happy birthday, Mitch Keller. I hope you have a fantastic dinner in Pittsburgh. I'm guessing there's some good restaurants in Pittsburgh. If you're
Captain
Mitch
America,
Keller, you're like, why isn't this game in New York? Like, I could have went out and had a nice dinner in New York.
Captain America Bleed says you did in fact leave your wallet there, Cardi, and he's going to take your $200 and go to Dairy Queen. Mr. Grapefruit says it's Tyler Megill Day.
That much ice cream, the brain freeze you would get would be insane.
No, you
Just-
get
Dairy
one.
Queen has
you-
underrated burgers. They
no,
got
you-
more than
oh
just
no,
ice
my
cream.
God,
Dairy
that is
Queen
the
burger's
worst
not
thing
bad.
you've ever said in your life.
Well,
Underrated burgers from Dairy Queen.
It must
No,
be,
you
it
just-
must be different in the United States because here our
My Dairy
our
Queens don't have
two
food,
burgers
just
are
ice
actually
cream.
quite nice.
Yeah. So Cardi, you buy one Blizzard and then you spend the other $190 on the gift card, right? So you can go back multiple times. You gotta think ahead, man.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
will say our A&Ws are also way better than yours, and I don't know why. It's a totally different menu, and our A&Ws, it's like it's the best fast food place you can get, and it's not the case in the United States. Cardi, what do you think about some Tyler Megill in tournaments?
Yeah, I like him. I mentioned him earlier. I think outside of kind of the obvious pitchers today, he's probably one of the guys I like the most. I don't love how extremely low strikeout this Blue Jays lineup is, but I think McGill's talent exceeds pretty much anyone else on this slate besides the obvious top guys.
Joseph Ivy says he is tuning in late. Who are our favorite stacks? Top two, did we narrow it down to Boston and St. Louis?
I mean, I like both of them. I'd have a hard time picking just two today, though. I think there's 5 or 6 are all like very similar.
What do you think about some Dylan Dingler in a FanDuel tournament, Stevie?
Who's that?
Catcher for Detroit.
Detroit.
I'll pass. He does have a really cool name though. And I think I saw an alert on opening day that he did a home run, but
He did.
no, probably not going to do that today.
No Dongler tonight. Suzuki or Duran on FanDuel. That's a very clear Duran. Suzuki's got some terrible weather tonight. Tyler Megill or Justin Verlander, Cardi?
I'll take Verlander. He's a little more expensive, I think, but if it's just kind of a straight up thing, then yeah, give me Verlander.
Stevie, who would be rank your top 3 pitchers on DK?
I think Fried would be my favorite, and then Shota and Verlander.
Cardi, for those who have no idea who you are, they've never been, maybe they've seen the bat, but this is their first RotoGrinders show. They're confused. What's with all the your mom jokes? Why do we hate BVP? Give a little breakdown of why it's nonsense to you.
Some Weisenheimer asked me for my BVP play of the day, and as he or she very well knows, BVP is useless garbage. There is no BVP play of the day. There never is. There never will be. It's terrible. And so if you're asking who the play is, I made a little quip about his mother, which may or may not have been rude. I'm sorry.
We got people dropping their favorite Dairy Queen order in chat. We did just
as someone that likes BVP, I'm gonna say 90% of BVP reflects to pitch types and how hitters profile against certain pitchers. So it's not necessarily like nonsense, but for Cardi's sake, like guy might just be good at hitting a fastball and the pitcher throws 60% fastballs. I bet you he's gonna have really good BVP against that guy. So now that we're like in the StatCast era, BVP was like 15 years ago of like, hey, we don't have a lot of data. Now that we have a ton of data, it just kind of gets backed up like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
8 likes away from Spidey Bomb number 4. So keep smashing that like button. We are so close. We did just get the Yankees lineup. And look, I trust y'all. You guys are going to hit the like button. I know that you will. You're going to give me those 8 more likes that I need. And so I'll give you Spidey Bomb number 4. He is, in fact, leading off. It's Ben Rice. Ben Rice is Spidey Bomb number 4. Now that he is leading off, we know that for sure. Do we want to, I want to revisit the Burleson versus Ben Rice question, Stevie. Do you still like Burleson better with Rice leading off?
Yep.
All right. What do we got here? Cardi, can you make a joke about my mom, please? Let's see. That seems to do it for the baseball questions. We got some silly other questions. We got some questions about a certain plant that makes your brain chemistry feel a little different. We got some questions about Tim Hortons, about Canadian chips, asking people to hit the like button. That's going to do it. Somebody asking, do you live in Florida, Cardi? No, Cardi doesn't, but Stevie, you live in Florida, don't you?
I do. It's like 85 degrees out and beautiful right now.
Well, let's get you a chance to go outside and hang out. So, Stevie, any final thoughts on the slate before we get out of here?
No, it's gonna be fun. Watching the Red Sox win against the Cardinals and hopefully like a 10-9 game. Both of these teams. But the one thing that I'll just say one more time is don't forget about the Giants today. I know they're like the very last game. That lineup is going to come out. I think it just came out recently. But don't forget about the Giants just because they're like the 4:30 game and, you know, they're facing Castillo. It's not the same Castillo. I think the Giants are in a great spot to make a lot of noise on this slate.
Cardi, we did have one last question about Ben Rice's pinch hit risk before we get out of here.
Yeah, the bat hazard is pretty minimal. I wouldn't worry too much.
All right, that'll do it for today's show. We will be back later in the evening, myself and Dean for Grinders Live, and then Noto, Cheese, and Kevin Roth for Crunch Time tonight. Let me double check one thing here quick before we go, because I saw people saying there's no Ben Rice for plus 750. It's bet 365 that he is at a set plus 750. So if you have that, great. If not, I do still like him for plus 650 today. But that'll do it. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you later today on behalf of myself, Cardi, and Stevie. We'll see you next time. Peace.